different set list at every show. Since no two concerts were ever the same on stage, the same goes with the Grateful Dead radio program on KAKU 88.5 FM. Saturday night at 8 and Sunday night at 9, it's Dead Air. It's an hour of killer recordings, stories from the Tapers section, tall tales from the parking lot, and I'll throw in an interview from time to time. Hey, I'm Corey Daniels. Saturday night at 8 and Sunday night at 9, you'll get Dead Air on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
Hi, I'm Vince Fodi, co-host of the Biscuits and Gravy Show. KAKU is a listener-supported station. This means that all of the great programs you hear, like mine, are supported by you as well as our underwriters. If you would like to help keep the voice of Maui talking loud and clear, go to kakufm.org/donate today and give. And don't miss the Biscuits and Gravy Show, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. on 88.5 FM, the voice of gravy.
Merry New Year!
Happy New Year. In this country, we say Happy New Year.
Thank you for correcting my English with Steve.
KKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
Namaste, party people in the place to be. Emanon Wanderer here, the host of Pure Awareness, a show where I talk about masculinity, mental health from a holistic perspective. My guests are local and global pioneers in their communities. So make sure you tune in Thursdays at 11 a.m. and don't forget to catch the replay on Saturday at 7 a.m. only on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Yay!
Namaste, party people in the place to be. Emanon Wanderer here. It is January 18th, 2024. It's Thursday, 11 a.m. hour, Hawaii Standard Time. You know what time it is. Well, not literally, I just told you. But figuratively, metaphorically, and actually, it's Pure Awareness time. I'm your host, Emanon Wanderer. We got Dan Dog coming in a little later, but wanted to start the morning off real quick with just wanted to read you guys a chapter in my new book, Identically Different, that will be on pre-order sales pretty soon. And this is what I flipped the book open this morning. This is what it landed on, and I thought it would be interesting to share this to get your thoughts. So this is Chapter 1 of Part 2. There's a Part 2. There's a 3-part book, and this is Chapter 1 and Part 2. And it starts off like this. Your tears are the healing waters of the soul. Today my son shared with me about a scratch he had on his head. I asked him if he got the scratch from the clippers because he had just recently gotten a haircut. He told me no, it was from something else. And then he added, "But I didn't cry, Daddy." I said, "Wow, son. But you do know it's okay to cry sometimes. Anytime. In fact, cry as often as you want or need." I then added, "Daddy cries often." He said, "I know it's okay." See, I believe there are certain rationales as to why a person would mention their immunity to pain. One of my beliefs is that the individual has tapped into the superpower that is in the true essence of every human being. It is the absolute presence of pure awareness. This superpower shows up in experiences when the person is riding on what Esther Hicks calls the high-flying disc, or what society currently refers to as being in the flow. On this disc or in this flow, one is fully operating from the place of isness that exists within each human. I like to believe that since my son is only 4, well, he was 4 at the time. He's now 6. But I like to believe since my son is only 4, he is only experiencing life on this high-flying disc, causing him to be immune to some of the pain, fears, and doubts that those of us who are seasoned with experiences have encountered. Again, that was Part 2, Chapter 1 in my book, Identically Different. So I want to get you guys' thoughts. Here's some things to reflect as I go into a song by one of my favorite artists right now. I don't know if it's playing. There it is. One of my favorite artists right now, Mr. Sifri. But my question to you guys is, how are you coping? Like when you experience pain, when you experience a fear, when you experience something that is just of dis-ease, what does that do to you, for you? How do you respond? Or do you react? And then something else to kind of ponder is like, is your reaction or response, is it predicated upon the opinions of others? Like, are you considering what someone else is going to think of you because of how you respond? So I just believe we're in that time in our lives where we can actually fully manifest our desires and create our reality. However, with that responsibility comes a lot of responsibility. Y'all think I messed up? No. With that responsibility comes a lot of responsibility. And when you know that and you master that, that's where the power comes. So, yeah. So I'll be right back with the homie Dan Dog, and I'm excited to talk to him. He came in charged about this experience he had last night. So I'm gonna let your imagination roam, and we'll be back after this.
I may not always sing in tune, and sometimes you don't hear me, but you don't have to be near me to know that I'm singing. This is my song, and nothing can make it die. It's been so long, and it's stronger. I know why, and I wonder if you really, really know that as long as I live, I will sing my song for you. I may not always sing in tune, and sometimes you don't hear me, but you don't have to be near me to know that I'm singing. This is my song, and nothing can make it die. It's been so long, and it's stronger. I know why, and I wonder if you really, really know that as long as I live, I will sing my song. That as long as I live, I will sing my song. That as long as I live, I will sing my song for you.
Sing your song for me, Dan.
La 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 la.
It's not your song.
Oh, right.
That's every 2, 3, 4-year-old song.
Like boom, boom. Start channeling Korn.
What?
Korn.
Oh, like the band. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Korn with a K.
Yeah, yes.
Those
Good
were
morning.
words.
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm feeling weird today.
That's exactly how you greeted me this morning. That's awesome, man. I'm excited to talk about it, or listen to you talk about it, because I have no idea what this ensues. And this is what I love about this show and our connected chemistry, is that it don't even matter what one of us brings up. I don't even have to know, but just be present and then just
See where it goes, man.
just see where it goes. So I just appreciate you. I want to give you kudos for feeling brave enough to even share. Like, bro, I'm feeling weird. You know what I mean? Like, I just remember, and I just remember just first meeting you, and just how guys are in general. We don't really just go and open up and be like,
don't
man,
open the
this
book right
has
away.
happened. I don't know why, but man,
Protection.
But see, man. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, I appreciate that. I've seen you crack open that book, and I don't think that's. I think I'm bringing it up because it's rare to see someone go through a process and then actually like commit to the process.
Can you see the process?
Yeah, like actually,
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like seeing it, you know what I mean? Not knowing the inner workings or mechanics that's happening on the inside, but just as an observer, just being able to be like, wow, he started out here and he's here.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's cool to see. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of friends that are doing that. Like Nina, you know, she's having an amazing experience, transformation experience. I'm just having a crazy one too, man. So I just love it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations on the book once again, man. That's got to be a big load off.
That's what she said.
Nah, that's not what she said.
No, man, that's no, thank you for that shameless plug here. Yeah, my first book, Identically Different, something I've been working on for like around 10 years. And really as I'm reading it, I'm just like, it's really my journal.
Yeah.
Like it's my journal. It's like these downloads that have came to me frequently over the years, and when I didn't understand what was happening in life, and I was like, you know, I'm supposed to be happy in this container of marriage and I'm not. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on? So it's like I processed and documented that whole journey, and just I don't know, just stuck with it, man. And just was like, you know, when it's time to do, it'll get done.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a great thing that, you know, I started journaling a long time ago as well. And thinking about all the things like before journaling, like how many thoughts have I lost? Like that you know,
That's interesting.
Downloads that I have no clue, you know, to get back. But then you kind of have to trust that, well, it you know, if I really needed to know it, it'll come back.
Yeah. You know, bro, I remember the first time I lost my, I call it my rhyme book back in the day. And I used to write so tiny because I didn't want nobody to read my lyrics. And it helped me memorize because I would be irritated trying to like read and rap. So I wrote it so small where I had to memorize the beats and everything. So I knew.
Because you couldn't actually read it.
Because I couldn't actually read it. And if I made something up, it'd sound stupid.
Hey, if that's the system that works for you, man.
It did. And so my point is that I lost a lot of journals, man, over the years, and yeah, I remember just feeling crushed. Like, man, this is everything. Like everything I thought, like
it's like
everything.
It's like that was 3 years.
Yeah. Like of good content. Like, I mean, almost like a analyzing analysis. Yeah, it's like a personal analysis of my life, and it's like to have it not there no more, it sucked.
I remember having several bouts of paranoia, thinking I lost a journal.
Really?
Yeah. So this was especially when I lived in Switzerland. Okay. And I was like riding trains all over the place, and I was taking notes because I couldn't really communicate with people, so I kind of lived in my own mind.
Yeah.
And just kind of like wrote down a whole bunch of stuff, and like it was just that fear of like quick looking, like after I got off the train, it's like, wait, do I have it?
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But just that paranoia.
I don't like that feeling, man.
Nope.
I used to hate it, and it's weird now not having it, so I miss it because it's like,
well, I never miss any paranoia.
I was at EL Valley this morning. I had an amazing morning, and then I want to get into you sharing, but I went to EL Valley this morning. Just was a prompt, you know, and I remember just my spirit guide saying, yeah, you're gonna go dip. I was like, yeah, right. It's like 30 degrees that water, you know what I mean? I was like, but then I remember just like trusting. I'm in this place now where I can't question what comes up within anymore, because it's always legitimately correct for me.
Good, yeah. Well, hey, when you're getting those, you're getting those, you know, download streams, you know, of consciousness. Hey, just keep following it.
I have to, man, especially because the times I don't, I end up married and divorced. So
whoopsies.
I get the joke about it because it's me. But anyway, I went to EL Valley and yeah, man, stripped down and dipped in there in just 3 seconds. It was like I knew that going in, but I had to prepare because I didn't want to jump in and be thinking like, oh, it's cold, let me hurry up and get out. I was like, no, I gotta understand what's happening. So I'm learning this. One of the mantras is noticing life around me. like not happening to me, but noticing around me. So it's like I just focused on what was around me, and then the sounds, and then the textures, and the colors, and
Just
the
being
silence.
present.
Just being present. Yeah.
So are you into like cold plunges? Did you do that before?
I used to. Like I did all the things. Like over like a course of 5 years, it was trying all the things because this was breaking out of that traditional conditioning mindset and lifestyle. So it was like there was no blueprint, there was no patterns. You know what I mean? As far as like somebody in our age range and where we come from and just the things we were interested in. It was like there was no one really setting a good example of how to even break away from the Matrix. You know?
The days before Rogan.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Because that really started.
How long have Rogan been?
Like I remember finding out about him when I was in Switzerland. So that was like
What year was that?
2009.
Okay.
2009, 2010.
Okay. Yeah, man.
But then just all the guests and just the conversations and just the different information that people have out there.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to having that long format conversation, you're not fighting anymore for that 30-second soundbite.
Man.
You know, and you can really cut through all the falsehood.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking to somebody for 3 hours, like you can you can smell when something smells like manure. You know.
Why? Because it smells like manure?
Yeah, because it's like, man, that's your stories are already changing up here.
Let's get down to the stench of things.
Yeah, the funk.
The funk. It's the funk that matters, folks. Yeah, man. So tell me about this weirdness.
Yeah. No. So I don't know. I've been trying to do a lot of inner work, just over the past while.
Correction, you've been doing, brother.
I am doing.
I'm seeing it. You're doing.
I am doing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was trying to. I don't know. It's kind of weird what the algorithm gives you, like through YouTube or other parts of the internet, and like. If you start looking into things, it starts directing you in different ways. The algorithm does, and it starts popping up different things.
Yeah.
And I started to get it really. So some of it started off as a joke. It was for comedy, and I don't know. I was like, man, I think I have ADD, and I told people, and they're like, oh yeah, of course. I was like, well, why didn't you tell me? So I started looking up. I was like, oh man, I identify with that and that and that. I was like, man, the algorithm does know me better. And then it started to show up with like CPTSD, like childhood, PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
And I started to get more stuff like that. I was like, okay, let's look into this a little bit. I was like, oh, damn, I identify with that and that and that. And just trying to find out, because I have some, I definitely have some personal blocks that I'm it's unconscious, but it's because I try and do a lot of dream work as well, and quite often it doesn't work. I know all the steps, but it just doesn't work. So it feels like it's a mental protection. Like you're only able to handle. It'll only show you what you can handle, and it's not showing me anything. It's like, oh man, what? I can't handle nothing. It's like, oh geez, this isn't good. I gotta look deeper in this. And so I was just trying to. We went to sleep listening to like a hypnosis program of like releasing negative emotion and like forgiving shame.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I woke up feeling weird, like really, really weird. It wasn't.
Like you gotta break down weird, because
it wasn't drunk. It wasn't sick. It wasn't it wasn't high, but like.
Off.
It felt off, and like I had to do my reality checks just to make sure.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, am I still dreaming? Like, nope. Okay, this is reality.
Interesting.
And like I just woke up with this thirst, and I chugged a glass of water, and after I chugged it, like it just started to bubble up, like I had to throw up. And I immediately jumped in the shower and just threw up water.
Oh my
god! It was nothing. Like I wasn't drinking last night or anything. Like there's no reason. That I should be feeling this weird, other than I was trying to do this this mental work, and then I just laid back down, slept again for another couple hours.
Wow,
it was weird.
Are you?
But it felt like I had probably released something.
I was gonna. That's where I was going with it. Like what's the feeling now as far as like what's the self-talk right now about what happened?
The self-talk about what happened, like I don't know. I was trying to like in that little.
Is it blame, shame?
Both. Yeah, blame and shame. So like in that little hypnopompic stage of like not quite awake, not quite asleep. After you wake up, and I don't know. I just started going through all these little things that I kind of remember from my youth.
Yeah,
that was either like traumatic, or I don't know, just intense. That just trying to find out where the shame comes, because I'm working on my self-confidence. Like I don't feel it. I really don't feel it. So,
you don't feel confident?
No. At some point, I think I lost that a couple years ago, and then over COVID, that really knocked me down even more.
Let me ask you this: are you confident? Because you said you don't feel confident, but are you confident? Are you a confident man?
Overall, the scales tip more towards no.
Dang. Okay, that's fair. And what I do with myself, I'm asking this specifically because I've said the same thing to myself. You know what I mean? I'm just grateful to be here that we can talk about it. I didn't have nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
But so when I asked, like, are you a confident man? And you say no. Then I did that to myself. Then I started saying, okay, well, how do I know that's true? So I asked myself, is that true? You're not a confident man? And I have a strong I'm like, yes, I'm not confident. I'm insecure. Like all my story. And then it's like my higher self was just like, okay, well, let's look at your life. You used to play sports. Yeah, I used to play sports. Were you good? Yeah, I was good. Were you afraid to run and get the ball and this and that? I didn't like getting hit, but I wasn't afraid.
But
So you were confident? I was like, oh shit. I see where this is going.
It's
so there's pockets of confidence. Like I'm a confident man. It's just that now I can unpack, why don't I feel confident right now?
Yeah.
And the times I don't feel confident is when it's something that's novel and new and just like an experience it's like brand new. So I started learning, like, holy ish, when something's new and it's unknown, there's fear, there's insecurity, there's all these things, but that's only at the beginning. That's from me. So that's why I'm asking, like,
it really started more like just before COVID, because I got fired.
It was
I got fired in November.
Okay.
On Veterans Day.
Dang.
Yeah, right.
They know how to pick them, don't they?
Hey.
While you're down, let me just kick you right in the.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I won't plug them.
Did you serve, by the way?
I did.
Yeah.
And and so at that time, it was I was super excited. I was like, okay, it was one of those jobs that they paid me too much to leave.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have left, but it was just hell every day. Like it was bad for the soul, and just like the work environment was very toxic.
Yeah,
very, very toxic. But they were paying me enough that like, I'm not walking away from this.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that, like, you could be fired at any point in time. It's like they could find any reason. The sword of Damocles is always hanging over your head. It's ready to, it's like, when is it?
Yeah.
And I lasted longer than I thought I would. And so they fired me, and then I was excited. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start my own thing. And then the world shut down. So ever since then, I've felt in this weird, I haven't felt stable.
Yeah.
And now working through the things over the past couple of years, trying to get myself to open up and show myself and be okay with, judgment.
Yeah.
And because I already know I would be one of those guys that would never read the comments. Like my shell's too soft.
Yeah.
And then
I'd
take it personal.
I want to celebrate, like, that's pure awareness, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you are aware.
I've been aware of it.
Purely aware of it. So that, you are clearly observing the patterns and the uneasiness, the dis-eases of your life and how it's played out, and it's just like, that's a celebratory step.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give you
thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing that trying to open up and go through this journey. It's getting the understanding that it's okay to celebrate those little wins, because I never did. Like, it was always, and like anytime I would accomplish something or like would actually make a significant improvement or a success, it wasn't a celebration of the win. It was, okay, what could I have done better, and how can I do it better in the future? Like, it wasn't a celebration. It was, no, you got to get this down.
Yeah.
You got to get this right.
Look, y'all, we're gonna come back after this quick break, because I gotta get a drink of water. I just feel like I don't know, something happened. But anyway, we're gonna come back, man, and we're gonna listen more and just unpack this more about Dan's experience and the weirdness and the and everything that comes with transformation. Ooh, we just got the title of today's episode.
Transformers.
Everything that comes with being a transformer. We will talk about it when we come back. Peace.
I want to be Shockwave. That I was experiencing.
I never even that was a new term for me too, the CPTSD. Yeah, but it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. So, hey y'all, we welcome back the Pure Awareness, and we are on here talking about how to be a transformer when it's weird not to be. Welcome back, y'all. So yeah, we started getting into it in the break about talking about how it's a shift. Like, I think you said, it's like
it felt like a shift.
It felt like
something. I don't think it's fixed, but like something shifted. Like, my body feels weird enough that it feels like something is a little bit off and maybe trying to come back together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like I moved some energy.
This is just me feeling the vibe, but does it feel scary to you?
No.
Like, it doesn't feel scary to you?
No, it feels like maybe I made a little progress.
Yeah.
It feels like a positive thing.
Cause I get chills because I'm thinking that was my experience. I was like scared, like, and I think I bring that up because you mentioned like feeling like there was a need to kind of hold and hug the younger you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like
to tell them it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like don't feel shame for that.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let it go.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a bad thing, because like, I don't know, just trying to go through all the things that did happen. Like one thing that was always just kind of more of a story in the back of my head, but I never thought of it as actual trauma. But like when I was little, maybe 6, I lived in Michigan. Living at my parents' house, and I found a box of matches. We had a little garage, and it was a concrete floor. So I'd take a match and throw it, and it'd light, and then go out on the floor. I was like, wow, this is cool. So I was just like striking matches and throwing them.
Yeah.
And there was this little neighbor girl that was down the street. I was like, oh, I got to show her this. This is pretty cool. So I went and got her, brought her back into the garage, and I was showing her how cool it was. And a match flew into a box of coat hangers and caught it on fire.
The plastic ones?
Yeah, the plastic.
Wow. Yeah.
Like it just went up super, super fast.
Yeah.
And from what I remember, is just like I couldn't get the door open at first, so it was a little bit of terror, like I'm gonna burn.
Right.
Like, uh-oh.
Right.
and then somehow I got the door open and we ran out, and the garage burnt down, and it caught like a part of the neighbor's roof on fire. Mm-hmm. And the fire department came and put it out, and everybody was safe. But
it's a big scene, bro.
Yeah, but it's just kind of been a story in the back of my head, and I never took it as trauma.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I was kind of working on, saying it's okay.
Yeah.
So I don't remember like how people treated me then. I'm like, oh my God, you little pyro. It was an accident.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I think that's something that just kind of stuck with me. Just feeling, responsible, almost killing this other little girl, and myself, and almost burning houses down. Like, whoopsies.
It well, I guess the punchline is, hey, pay attention to those small fires. You know what I mean? But also,
let more bears in your garage. Smokey will help you.
I guess.
Don't play with matches, boy.
What the thing that comes up is the reason I joke about it is because you were talking about just not feeling the need to celebrate those small victories, or just not even knowing to acknowledge the small victories that happen in life, and then it's like looking at the match and how a small match caused
a
big flame and a fire. It's like it caused this entire situation from a little spark, from a little match, from play. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. Like, that can even be messing with you. You know what I mean? Like, you were in such a joyful state and wanted to share that joy like any normal, civilized human being would. We want to connect and share the goodness of life. It's like, hey, look at this cool thing I discovered.
Yeah, look what I discovered.
And it's just like, wow, never saw that coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my question is like, and this to everybody, is like, where does that set in? Where does the fear and the shame and the guilt of a playful event happen? Like, when do those emotions set in? Like, why wasn't it like, oh no, a bigger flame? Well, I know what to do with that. Let's put water on it, or let's go tell why wasn't it still in a spirit of play? It went immediately to like, ish. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ask myself that all the time. It's like, bro, like okay, you had a moment. You got upset for 1.3 seconds.
Yeah.
But me, being me, it's like, no. The trailer was 1.3 seconds, but wait till you see the movie, and then there's this whole story I come up with, and it's like, what? Yeah. But it's only because of all the years of one being modeled of how not to address the small fires, the small flames, the little sparks that show up, you know what I mean? And in my life, not knowing how to communicate and articulate and just unpack those has led me to just ignoring we're talking about a match, but I'm really talking about trusting that inner voice and in your higher self, you know? That intuition that always told me before any of my relationships or marriages or jobs that I took on, it was always a, hey, don't do this.
Yeah.
Like, there was always a clear, don't do this. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I'm still unpacking it, but it kind of seems like it might have given me the thought that you're dangerous. Be careful. Like, you could hurt somebody.
That's scary. How old were you?
I was probably like 6.
Ooh. Dang.
Yeah.
Dang. Did you talk to anybody about that? Like,
not really. No. I usually never ever.
No one found out about the fire?
Oh no, they definitely knew.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they definitely knew. Oh yeah, there was enough fire department that there's no sneaking away from that.
I can relate to this story because mine is quick. It was. I remember. Oh my gosh, I can so relate. This just came up. It's interesting. So my story and connection with this, because we're talking about being in a spirit of play, wanting to connect and share that feeling with someone else, and then it causes destruction, and then it's, oh crap, I'm not safe.
Yeah, I'm not safe because of me.
Because of you.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even feel good and have fun because it's not safe.
Yeah.
Like that. Let's just say though that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So with me being 9, I think I was playing football. We just finished the game, and it was a huge game for some reason. I don't know why, but I did really good. Like 3 touchdowns and just like super awesome.
Game.
Yeah, great game for me. And we're all walking out, and I'm with a few of my buddies and a few other guys, cool guys that wouldn't have normally hung because I was just a rock star that day. It was like, and I just felt so big. I was like, man, I fit in. I'm one of the guys.
Validation. Yeah.
Validation, exactly. So my dad gives me the keys to the van. Hey, go put your stuff in the van. And I'm like, whoa, it gets even better because he never does that.
Yeah.
Now I got
It's like I got the keys.
I got the keys to the
got
van.
Control.
I got my buddies. These like
I'm grown up now,
bro. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? I was the man walking that parking lot. So get to the parking lot, open up, and they're still at the field. So my parents are still walking. You know, so we got like 3 minutes, whatever, alone in the van. I'm like, oh man, this is my time to shine. So I unlocked the van. I was like, man, y'all come in and chill, because we had one of those like old school vans where they got the seats that like turn all the way around.
Captain's chairs.
Right,
Yeah, the
exactly.
old big vans. Yeah, no minivan here.
Bro, no minivans.
This is a Kano Line 350.
So we're in there, man, and I remember, check this out. The weekend before, I remember watching my dad put the key in the ignition, turning it, and moving the stick, and the car moving. I was like, this is easy.
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. I said, I can do this. This is easy. And I had my shot. And do you know, I put that key in there. And not knowing the letters or anything, I just know he didn't move it that far. Yeah. So obviously he moved it to reverse. Because we were in the driveway back in the... So that's what I did. I just moved it to the first click, boop. And then my boys was like, oh, dude.
You're driving.
And I just hit the pedal.
Oh man,
full speed, not seeing. There was remember, this is a big game, so there's people in the parking lot, bro. I go full speed in reverse. People are jumping out of the way, and then all of a sudden there's a pow. Crashed into this truck that was right behind. And so yeah, I got my butt beat that day. But here's what I'm saying. I remember that came up because I was in a spirit of play. Just was wanting to share because I felt connected. You know what I mean? I was like,
felt powerful.
Powerful. You know what I mean? Just like you discovered, this is fire. Look at this. Yeah. I'm doing this.
I created fire.
But that's I don't know, man. Like that's scary to me. And I remember not feeling like I'm safe. I remember my thing was I'm not a good guy. I just remember not feeling like a good guy. I remember after my spanking, I'm saying spanking to be politically correct. But after that, I just remember just having the feeling of like, man, I'm not a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Like, or like, he's not going to trust me again.
Yeah. It was so when I heard your story about just bringing all that up, and this is why I say, Dan, as far as like, ignoring the small victories and stuff, it's because now that I'm celebrating every small like little detail of a victory, there's not a lot of big flames and fires in my life. You know what I mean? And I know we were talking about like, how do you move this energy? Like, how do you get out of this place of shame? And talk more about that, because you were saying like right now. And I just want to summarize for everybody, lay it out. So right now, Dan has expressed the experience of shame and guilt around a childhood event. And then last night, having this, waking up, just feeling just off.
Yeah.
Like something shifted, and now these feelings and emotions of you said shame and guilt around the fact that you don't feel like you're safe, or didn't feel like you're safe. Do you still feel like you're not safe right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those base feelings that, like, naturally I feel unease.
Okay, so here's my question, and this is what we can work on for the next 15 minutes, if you like.
Yeah.
You know, because I think this could probably help people. It's helping me. You know, is so now that we got the story, and my process is like, okay, here's the event, then it moves to so what.
Mm-hmm.
Like all that, yes, that happened. That's blah, blah, that's how I feel right now. Blah blah blah. So what? And then it's like, okay, let me sit with this. So what?
And that's, well, it's also sitting with the event. Like what I tried to do was consciously bring up like past traumatic events, like things that were obviously big enough that I would remember.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a lot of memories of my childhood.
Yeah.
And so it was trying to pick each one of those, try and feel it, try and feel and find out first if there is shame from that, and then trying to tell little Dan that it's okay, just in my mind. And it seemed to have shifted something.
Do you think little Dan wants it to be okay?
Oh, he definitely wants it to be okay.
How do you
know? Because I want peace. Like I want to feel good.
Okay. But here's the thing. This is why this is tricky. Because now we're saying you want to feel good, but we're talking about little Dan.
Oh yeah, Dan, little Dan just wanted to play and feel safe.
But so little Dan is still here, and you're here, like Wisdom Dan, little Dan, Wisdom Dan. So that's why I say the question is what does he want? Like, what is little Dan trying to say? Because I believe, like, when things like memories, like something like this happens. I don't take it lightly because I feel like, oh, it's me. It's a version of me, maybe a younger version or a different lifetime version of me that's wanting to say something. Yeah. Like right now in real time, because there's no time in that dimension. There's no time.
I think little Dan wanted to be forgiven.
Okay.
That was it.
We can think all day long, but the work, like you were saying, the work is actually sitting with that and talking, you know, on your own time and your own environment, but just sitting with little Dan, bro, like and really checking in, because you will be surprised. Because keep in mind, like, look, when we talk about little Dan, we're referring to the 6-year-old Dan that in that event, or younger maybe, but that part of us, that personality, that personality does not exist in this personal reality now. So little Dan's personality had its own personal reality at that time. Now we're Big Dan. Remembering an old Dan. You see what I'm saying? So now there's a whole nother thing. There's this thing called Vril. I can't. VRIAL or AL. Anyway, Vril. Okay. I got the computer right here.
I'm not familiar with him.
I'm about to tell you right now. It's amazing. It's so what Vril is, if I can learn how to pronounce it, it's life force.
Okay.
And this guy named I think it's William Atkinson. Talks about Vril being a life force.
Okay.
And scientifically, I'm gonna break it down. I actually talk about it in my book a little bit. Breaking it down is that this life force travels in each one of our atoms.
Okay.
Excuse me. So think about this: life in each one of our atoms. There's trillions of atoms that make up Dan. Each one of those atoms are carrying a life force. They're carrying a mission and a memory of some part of when they were connected to something else. You see where I'm going with this? So it's like, when we talk about, like, well, what's needed now, well, the only way to know what's needed now to fix something then is to really tap back into the life. Because it's still there. Energy does not die. Little Dan is still right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's really, you said you mentioned journaling in that, and you enjoy that. It's like, I'll have a session of, like, letting little Dan journal. You know what I mean? Letting him say,
I've never done that.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that it's been... Like, I haven't really thought of little Dan as like an entity to contact before. And like most of my best work, mental work, is usually either going to sleep or waking out of sleep.
Yep.
And just that little half asleep, half awake
Right.
haze, I can have some semi-consciousness
Yeah.
and try and focus that.
Yeah.
And it seems more spiritual, more ethereal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just that the shift that we're all in now is understanding our power of choice now.
Yeah.
And what that means to me is that I actually get to choose my reality and the path that I want to take, and even the thoughts that I want to latch onto.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It's that powerful. It's that much of saying, like, okay, I'm having this memory and this energy surge come up. I can now choose to follow it and see where it goes, or I can choose to attach my story to it, attach a story to it, or I can just
choose to let it go.
Let it go, man.
Yeah, and that's I mean, that's really what the ultimate goal of that is
Yeah.
trying to learn how to let go. Because like I feel, and I've talked to my wife about this, and she's like, she can see that I have a hard time just letting go and
Yeah.
trusting the universe that everything will be all right.
Yeah.
But at the same time saying you're responsible for everything that happens.
Yeah.
Because you create it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that doesn't seem to like match.
Yeah.
You know, so I have a hard time understanding that.
Yeah, it's that's why it's nice to simplify it. See, we're really, really super intelligent beings.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like crazy nerdish. And we're such a genius that we over geniusize play and simplicity.
Yeah,
Like, I remember my teacher,
everything, yeah.
I had an acting teacher used to always say, like, it's amazing how complex simple can be.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Just as simple as, like, I give you this pencil. For those of you who aren't watching but listening, I just gave Dan a pencil. Dan, will you give me that pencil?
Boom.
What had to happen for me to get this pencil? Only one thing
Make
had
your
to.
intentions known.
Yes. Yes. Keep going.
Hold your hand out.
Yes, I did that too.
Have a willing participant.
But yes, I did that too.
Give me that pen.
Yes, I recall. But what else had to happen? Like, this is a real thing. Like, I know this is weird, but you already woke up weird, so let's follow through.
I think it's just gonna be.
What
a weird
else
day.
had to happen for me to get this pencil?
Well, it had to be there. You had to offer it.
Yes.
You had to ask for it back.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
What was the main thing that had to happen for me to get this pencil? You had to let it go. See how
You're fishing
simple,
for that, yeah.
how complex, simple, bro. You see, just that right there. And so taking that example and then applying it to just any one of the scenarios in your life about letting go.
So then it would come down to what importance you put on that object, whether or not you can let it go.
That's a way, but that doesn't sound.
But could it be that that's why I have a hard time letting go, because I've put too much importance on something? Like
Can I give
too
you
much
two,
importance on getting it right? Like, easiest way to boil it down.
I can say two things to that. I love this question. Putting too much importance on it, yes, you're doing that. And it's only because that's what was shown to you and taught to you. Now, let's just take that. Just the one thing I wanted to say. But just look at that part. I showed up and behaved this way because this is what was taught to me when I didn't have a choice. Remember, we're in choice mode now.
Yeah.
But when I didn't have a choice, growing up, as a adolescent, teen, when I was under the guise and control of adults, this is what I learned. And hold on, the computer just all right. This is what I learned. So therefore, when it's game time, what's gonna show up is the play that we practiced all week.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying to you. Like, that's the reaction because of that was modeled. So that's one thing. Yeah,
okay.
The program. Thank you. So now you can now choose, holding on to that, you could choose to let that go, or continue to enjoy that program, or continue to unpack that program. And then here's the second thing I was gonna say. I don't like saying to like. It sounds like I'm blaming myself. So when I say, oh, I did this, I did too much of this, or like you said, you put too much importance on it. What I would say is that I put a lot of importance on it because there was such a powerful benefit from it. So I kept doing it. I just got to find out what the benefit was. What was I gaining from this? Because that's the only reason we do stuff is because there's a benefit attached to it.
Makes sense.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we can talk about, I mean, it's an adult show, but like when I first got into like self-pleasuring myself, like at 13 years old, like it was the best ever.
It's like, I don't need anybody else.
However, everything, look, I couldn't even enjoy that moment. Keep in mind, I'm 13. This is my first time like this ever happened. Like, wow, I do this all the time, but nothing comes out. But this time something happened. And now I just feel alive. And then almost immediately, guilt and shame came. And I was like, I felt terrible.
Yeah.
And then I felt terrible every time I did it.
Yeah.
And now I know why I felt terrible. It's because, I was taught that was wrong. God isn't in that. You ain't supposed to be doing it. So, okay, I have all those voices. But then it was like, well, if that's true and that's right, and I'm an obedient person, I want to do right, why do I keep doing it? Why? It was because there's a benefit. Yeah. I don't want to be too explicit, but it's like the obvious benefit, yeah. But then, this is important. For me, the underlying benefit for me to continue to do that activity, knowing that it was frowned upon in my religious community, and even, as boys, we would tease each other and they're saying we don't do it, but we all did it. Even in all of that, I kept doing it because it was the one time I felt like in control of my life. Because my thing was like, everyone's controlling me. I have no power. I have no voice. Every time I speak up, I'm the middle child. You know what I mean? Every time I speak up, it's shot down. You know what I mean? When I show up,
heard.
Right. When I could just show up and excel into something,
it's one thing you have power over.
It's the one thing I have power over, bro. And it's the one thing it's the one time I just was able to relax and let go. Yeah. And feel safe.
Yeah. And turns your brain off.
Everything. Yeah. Turn my brain off and turn other things on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a real thing.
Though?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so,
and a lot of people like continue to carry that shame through their whole lives.
Well, it sounds like that's where you're at right now, like unknowingly. You know what I mean? Because I don't think shame is wrong. I just think it's a label, a title we give this feeling that comes up. But what if we called it joy? Like, we can rename it, but the point is like, what do you, like I said, we're at the so what? You know what I mean? Yeah. Now you're aware of it. Okay, so what? What now?
Yeah.
What now? So we can, we got a couple minutes. Well, I think we should say that. Let's let that be a rhetorical question. Like what now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you want
to keep it, or do you want to let it go?
Do you want to keep it? Do you want to let it go? Do I want to learn from it, or do I want to continue, take the test and be done with it? You know what I mean? It's just so many options, man.
I would definitely like to be shame-free.
Yeah. I would like you to be.
Thanks.
So be shame-free then, right?
Oh, okay.
Right? Exactly.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah, no, it's, but that's the thing.
But do you know?
It takes work.
I was going to say that, but see, here's the thing. You already forgot. What's the work that needs to be done?
The actual letting go.
There's that. But then why is it difficult to let go? Because of
the programming?
No, we already know the benefit. You just got to find your benefit, bro. You got to find that thing. And you kind of mentioned it. We were talking earlier this week, and we talked about the fear of success a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And
but then it's but also one of the things that I've noticed it's not necessarily the fear of success. It's the fear of, it's not the success. I'm fine with getting successful, but in the back of my mind, there's this fear of the eventual downfall, like the insustainability of that success.
That's my thing.
I'm very aware of that, and that's one of the things I'm working on. Because, how are you going to succeed if you're fearing success?
I'm all about gaining success. I'm all about being afraid of sustaining it and maintaining it, man. That was my thing. So yeah, man, thank you for sharing that, bro.
Absolutely.
Like,
Good show.
Always, bro. Like, but this particular thing, I think this is going to be one of those things that'll be ongoing for a lot of people, because now we're in a place of exposure.
Yeah.
And
well, you got to bring it to the light first before you can even understand it's
that's
there.
what exactly. And the beautiful thing about exposure is that you get a picture. That's the thing. Like, think of it like, remember Kodak exposure? Like, you get a picture, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that whatever you get exposed to in your life that comes up in this time and in the next 30 years, as we're in the age of Aquarius, keep this in mind. That exposure is going to reveal a picture. And that picture, you get to choose and decide how to interpret it. So you can interpret it as like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible person, or you can interpret it as, wow, look at this slice of life, look at this moment. That's all it was. Look at this moment in life that I had or am having, and just go from there. You know what I mean? But there's finding the benefit, bro. Like, I want you to, like, we should work on like finding the benefit and just trying to see why the letting go is such a challenge.
Yeah, because it's almost physical. Like, I can feel the resistance.
Dang, that means it's about to pop, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything's been ramping up.
Or maybe it's not the letting go. Maybe it's you're holding on. Like, even looking at it that way, why am I holding on to this so tight?
So that's the thing. Like, it feels like holding on to the edge of the cliff. You know, when you know, if you just let go, you'll be fine. But it's just but it's the unknown. I can't let go.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm hanging on to the edge of a cliff and the bottom seems scary,
maybe you'll float up. You know,
or maybe you'll float up.
That's the thing. Like, you don't know. But like, because somebody had mentioned that to me before. It's like, okay, it's like you're hanging on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
But what you're not thinking is that if you let go, you might float up.
Man, there it is. All right, folks. I appreciate y'all. I can't believe it's been an hour already.
Love y'all.
Man, it goes so quickly. Thank you, Dan Dog, for coming through.
Thank you, Eminem.
Appreciate it so much, man. And don't y'all forget, man, Identically Different will be out and pre-ordered soon. I'll let you know all the deets on that. And y'all just keep it real out there, man. Keep exposing yourself, because that picture needs to be shown to the world. Love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Yee.
The County of Maui Department of Water Supply Stage 2 water shortage declaration per county code requires upcoming